Something else we suggest doing and we encourage is that people have a savings and investments plan outside of their trading account, because a lot of people think the trading will just supplant and they'll go straight to the leverage, and that'll be able to backfill all those pension savings they haven't made as they're making their way closer to retirement. Tell us your take on earning the right to leverage and saving investment. You have touched on it, but a bit more.
I'm a perfect example of cash. I keep a lot of cash. And people think, well, you have way more cash than you need. Warren Buffett keeps $60 billion in cash fluctuating. Bill Gates keeps a year's worth of liquid capital for his entire company. I think you see Apple has got about $160 billion in cash. I wonder why they have so much cash. I have a feeling that it's because they know that it's wise to not have emotions. And having a stable bank of cash, a stable base of liquid cash, allows you to, you might say, mitigate any volatilities that come. I have a 10% rule that I wrote about in Jet Set magazine, because that's one of the magazines I write for. And I was told when I was about 20 by a guy named Ed Tellison, he said, you're not a millionaire until you can gain and lose $1 million without blinking an eye. I didn't really understand what he was talking about at the time, because I thought a millionaire had $1 million net worth. But now I understand, because I've had fluctuations of $1 million before. And so I know what it's like to not have any fluctuation with $1 million today. But at one time, that would have devastated me. If I was to go up or down $1 million, I'd be emotional. So I call it the 10% rule. 10 times the amount of volatility, if you have that amount in liquid or in total net worth, you don't react. But anything more than that. So if you have $1 million on the market, and all of a sudden it goes to 1,100,000, yeah, you don't get elated, you don't get too proud, you don't get extrovert and say, hey, how's your market doing? How's your business doing? How's your trading doing? And if you go down to 900,000, you don't get too reactive. But if it drops to 600,000, you're going to want to sell. And if it goes to 1.4, you're going to want to go and leverage yourself with margin accounts and keep doing that, thinking, oh, I'm amazing, I can do this over and over again. So I always say that you beware of that 10% rule, because most people can handle 10% fluctuations without too much of emotion. They can handle that. When it starts getting higher than that, they're vulnerable. So it's wise to take a portion that's on the table and make sure you have enough liquidity to handle volatilities to mitigate that. And you'll trade wiser. You won't be emotional. You'll be more strategic. And I always say have a cushion account, and then make sure you have stair-stepped investments that have different degrees of volatility, and make sure you're hedging against those volatilities by doing different markets. That way, if one goes up and the other one goes down, you can play against the hedging process. So I think it's wise to have a little bit of diversity and be cautious myself. I'm more conservative than some. Maybe when you're in your 20s, you might want to just take it all and gamble it. But I'm a believer that it's wise to just be methodical, have enough liquidity, and don't be foolish with extremes.